Hi friends, myself Sainath Lambade, and today we are going to discuss about the female reproductive system. In the female reproductive system, we are going to discuss the internal genitalia, and this internal genitalia in the female reproductive system consists of a pair of ovaries, a pair of fallopian tubes, uterus, vagina. These are the four main things which consist of internal genitalia. A pair of ovaries, actually these ovaries are the primary sex organs in the female, and these ovaries do the production of egg or ovum, and also do the production of female reproductive hormones. For the examples, the hormones like the estrogen, progesterone, relaxin, inhibin, again that activin. These are the some five hormones which are secreted by these ovaries. Size of the ovaries, that is a 3 centimeter long, 1.5 centimeter in the breadth, and 1 centimeter thick. Location of these ovaries, it is located in the upper lateral part of the pelvis region, near the kidneys, and they are located in the upper lateral part of the pelvis region near the kidneys. Support, they are attached to the dorsal wall of the abdomen. These ovaries are attached to the dorsal wall of the abdomen by the mesovarium. They are attached to the dorsal wall of the abdomen by the help of this mesovarium, and the uterus by the ovarian ligament, and attached to the lateral wall of the pelvis cavity by the suspensory ligament. Shape of the ovary, it is a solid oval shape or almond shape organ. Origin of the ovaries take place from the mesodermal in origin, weight about 10 to 12 grams, and color, that is a pinkish in color. After this ovaries has been divided into two region. Actually this ovaries has been divided into two region, that is a outer part, that is a cortex, and the central part or the middle part, that is a medulla. I will draw for you one ovary here. So this is the uterus, and ligament, that is a oval shaped. Ovaries are the oval shape, and this outer region of the ovary, outer region is known as a cortex region, that is a cortex, and this middle central part is known as a medulla. Central is known as a medulla part of the ovary. There's a pair of ovaries are present in the female. They gives alternate egg after each menstrual cycle. So this structure of the ovary, central part, that is a medulla part, and outer part, that is a cortex region. The outermost region of this ovary is called as a cortex, and the central part, that is called as the medulla part, I have shown here. So first we'll see about the medulla. Medulla having the presence of stroma or the loose connective tissue, that is, or the loose connective tissue of medulla has the presence of blood vessels, again lymph vessels, and nerve fibers. In the medulla region of this ovary is having the blood vessels, nerve vessels, and lymph vessels. This cortex region, we'll see what is present in the cortex region. It is covered by externally by a layer of germinal epithelium. This cortex region externally lined by the or having the layer of germinal epithelium. The outer cortex is more compact and granular. The outer cortex is more compact and granular. It shows large number of tiny masses. It shows large number of tiny masses of cells called as a ovarian follicles. Called as a ovarian follicles. These are collectively formed from the immature ova originating from the cells of the dorsal endometrium of the yolk sac. These are collectively, these ovarian follicles are collectively formed from the immatured ova originating from the cells of the dorsal endoderm. They are originating from the dorsal part of endoderm of the yolk sac, which is mainly present in the embryonic stage, this yolk sac. The cells migrate to the gonadal ridges during embryonic development and divide mitotically. Now these cells are called oogonia, and these oogonia are 2n in number. They are in diploid number. As the oogonia continues to grow in a size, they are surrounded by a layer of granulosa cells. As this oogonia continues to grow in a size, and they are surrounded by the layer of granulosa cells and form the rudiments of the ovarian follicles. Rudimentally, that like a ear and ear that are going to be formed like that. The process of oogenesis start much before the birth of the female baby. The process of oogenesis, actually formation of the gametes, female gamete, that has been start in the female during the before the birth of that particular female baby. By the end of 12 weeks of ovary is fully formed. Again, end of this formation up to the 12 weeks of ovary is fully formed. It has more than 2 million primordial follicles. It is having the presence of 2 millions of primordial follicles. Each cord at ends has a round mass oogonial cells called as a egg nest. These oogonial cells are known as a egg nest, from which the primordial ovarian follicles, from which the formation of primordial ovarian follicles. Each primordial ovarian follicles has its center a large primordial oocyte. Each and every primordial ovarian follicles is having the centrally presence of primary oocyte. This is a primordial follicles, and centrally that is having the presence of primary, that is called as a primary oocyte, and the oocyte is in 2n number. This oocyte is in 2n number. Of the 2 million primordial embedded follicles in the fetal ovary, only about 1 million remains at the birth. They are having the presence of 2 million primordial follicles embedded in the fetal ovary. Fetal, that may be in the presence of embryo, or that present in the female, in the mother's uterus at that time during the development of embryo. That fetal is having the presence of 2 million primordial follicles, and they are embedded in the fetal ovary. Only about 1 million remains at the birth. When the child gets birth, that time only 1 million remains, and only about 40,000 remains at the time of puberty. Means this puberty arise up to 12 to 13 or 14 years of the age. At that time only 40,000 remains at the puberty. The large scale destruction of the primordial follicles during the growth is called as atresia. During the growth time, many follicles, they are degenerated, that is actually known as atresia. The development of the primordial follicles start growing to form a Graafian follicles and restarts with the onset of puberty. During each menstrual cycle, only one primordial follicle start growing to form a Graafian follicles. In every menstrual cycle, only one follicle will going to form that Graafian follicles, that is, the primordial follicles start growing to form a Graafian follicles. In each cycle, alternately, only one ovary gives an egg out of two ovaries. Out of two ovaries, after each menstrual cycle, only one will give the egg. They do this work alternately. The first menstrual cycle or menarche begins normally about 13 years, and menopause means stopping of the cycle happens at the age of 45 to 55 years. 45 to 55 years, and the period in between the menarche and menopause is the reproductive age of this female, and approximately this reproductive age of that female is actually, that is about 32 years. In this time, the female will producing a maximum of about 416 eggs, means 32 into 13, that are about 416 eggs. Then after this, we are going to discuss about the fallopian tube, and these are the pair ducts. Each oviduct measures about 10 to 12 centimeter in the length and lying horizontally over the peritoneal cavity close to the ovary. They arises from the uterus, one on the either side, and the anterior or the proximal funnel shape part of the oviduct is called as a infundibulum. That is called as a infundibulum, and it had a small opening called as a ostium surrounded by the many finger-like projections called as a fimbriae. Middle and the long part of the oviduct called as a ampulla, it's provide a site for the fertilization and cleavage. The question frames here that this middle and the long part of this oviduct or the fallopian tube is known as a ampulla. This is a part where the fertilization takes place. Isthmus or the cornea is a narrow and the tapering part of the oviducts open into the uterus. The oviduct is internally lined by ciliated epithelium. The question also again frame here that oviduct or the fallopian tubes is internally lined by the ciliated epithelium, help to carry the non-motile ovum. What is the work of this ciliated epithelium? That will help to carry out this non-motile ovum from the that fimbriae region, that ostia, it enters into this fallopian tube that is conducted up to the that ampulla region. Fallopian tubes suspended in a peritoneal membranous folds called as a mesosaplings function collection of egg or ovum from the drop in the peritoneal cavity, conduct the ovum from ovary to the uterus, and it provides a site for the fertilization and the cleavage. Now we are going to discuss about the uterus or uterus. The another name for the uterus is also known as a womb. It is commonly called womb. It is a single, this uterus is a single, large, triangular, muscular, vascular, glandular, medianly centrally present. So it is a median, distensible, it can be extend, pear-shaped structure located above and behind the urinary bladder. After this, we are going to discuss that uterus. Now see, this uterus or the womb, the weight about 30 to 40 grams in weight. Size, it is about 8 centimeter long, 5 centimeter wide and 2 centimeter thickness of this uterus. Uterus is attached to the body wall of double fold peritoneum called as a mesometrium or broad ligament. This uterus is attached to the body wall by the double fold of the peritoneum. Actually this peritoneum is derived from the abdominal part, so the peritoneum called as a mesometrium or the broad ligament. Uterus can be divided into three regions, that is a fundus, body and cervix region. It is the upper dome type part, and normally implantation of the embryo occurs in this fundus region. The center part, it is a broad part of the uterus which is gradually tapers at the downwards. And this cervix, it is a narrow neck about 2.5 centimeter in the length, and it extends about the vagina. It is a passage as two openings, that is the internal os, that is the internal os towards the body, and external os towards the vagina. The wall of the uterus, this has been divided into mainly three regions, that is a perimetrium, myometrium and endometrium. Perimetrium is the outermost, myo is the middle one, and this endometrium is the innermost. It is a outermost wall and thin distensible serous layer derived from the peritoneum. It is actually derived from the peritoneum. And myometrium, it is a middle and thick wall composed of smooth muscles. This myometrium is composed of smooth muscles and vigorous contraction during the parturition, means during the expel of the baby when it is a fully developed. Then endometrium, it is a mucosal membrane and made up of stratified epithelium, means more than two layer, that is known as a stratified epithelium. Thickness of this layer regularly undergoes changes during the menstrual cycle. Endometrium get shed out during the menstrual cycle if the egg does not get fertilized. After this function, it is a site for the blastulation and implantation. This uterus is a site for the blastulation and implantation. It provides a nourishment to the developing embryo. It is a site for the fetal growth. It helps in the formation of placenta, through which the mother provides a nourishment to the fetus. Uterus expel the young one at the birth. Now after this we are going to discuss about the vagina. It is a tubular female copulatory. Sexual copulation is carried out in the female, that is a vagina part, copulatory organ, that is about 7 to 9 centimeter in the length. It lies between the cervix and the vestibule. The vagina wall has an inner mucosal lining. The vaginal wall has an inner mucosal lining, middle muscular layer and an outer adventitia layer. Mucosal epithelial is stratified and non-keratinized and stores glycogen. This mucosal epithelium is stratified, means more than two layers. Non-keratinized means it is not having the presence of keratin, that is means water can be easily pass out from this non-keratinized. Actually this is mainly present on the skin. This keratin protein is present in the skin layer that avoids the desiccation of the water from the skin or the evaporation of the water from the skin. So actually it is present inside the vagina, so that stratified is non-keratinized and stores the glycogen. These are no glands, but the cervical secretion of the mucus is received in the vagina. Vagina is not having any mucosal gland. The cervical secretion of the mucus is received in the vagina. The opening of the vagina into the vestibule is called as a vaginal orifice. The opening of vagina into the vestibule is called as a vaginal orifice, and this opening is covered partially by the fold of mucous membrane called as a hymen. The vagina acts as a passage for the menstrual cycle, menstrual flow, as well as birth canal during the parturition. I will draw in 1 minute for you all this. This is actually, this part is a uterus. These are the two fallopian tubes. These are the ovaries. similar to fallopian tubes. These finger-like projections are called as a fimri. They are called as a fimri. There is having one opening is in this fimri. They are catching the ova given by this ovary. They are giving a. This is called as a ostia. They are massaging before ovulation to this ovary. Then this highlighted part or extended part or big part, that is called as the ampulla. And this funnel type shape, this is a funnel type shape. See this funnel type shape, that is called as a infundibulum. Infundibulum. This dome shape is called as a fundus. This is called as a fundus, and this narrow part of that fallopian tube is called as a isthmus. This is a body region or uterus of body region, body part of uterus, and this is having one kind of a opening. That opening is called as cervix. Cervix region. Cervix has two opening. This one opening in the body region, that is called as a internal os, and one opening into the vagina, that is called as the external os. So this is a vaginal, one opening into the vagina. This is a vagina. Vagina is for the birth canal, as well as the menstrual flow is also carried out from the. Thank you.